Right, in this video we'll be looking at how to find the coefficient of expanding a bracket. So what you have to realize that first thing is what does the term coefficient mean? So coefficient just means the number before an x squared or an x cubed. So for example you've got 2x squared or you'll have 2x cubed and so on. So the coefficient means there'll be 2. So anything before the letter x squared or x cubed, x to the power 4, whatever it is, could be 80, 100. So that's what the coefficient means. Now if we look at question 1, we're looking at find the coefficient of x squared when we expand the bracket 2 plus x to the power of 5. Now what you have to do, you've got an NCR button on your calculator. If you haven't, you can always find it on Google, that function. So now we're raising the bracket to the power of 5, so therefore that would be to the power of 5c. Now I need x squared, so I'm going to put down 2 here. Okay, now what I do is I'll get my first letter here, which is 2, so that because I need x squared, you put an x squared here, 2 here has to be raised to the power of 3 because these two indices have to add to give me 5. Now if you do 5c2 on your calculator, you'll get 10 times 2 cubed, which is 8, so therefore your answer would have been 80x squared. So my coefficient is 80. Okay, so if you want to pause the video and you can try number 2, just apply this same skill. Now what you should have is, again, is raised to the power of 5, so you've got 5c2, and we're looking for an x squared, so I put an x squared here, and then that leaves me with 2, so I need 2 cubed. So again, if I simplify that, 10 times 2 cubed will be 80 x squared, so my final answer is 80. So the coefficient, see the number before x squared, is 80. Right, number 3, now we're looking for the coefficient of x. So again, the bracket's being raised to the power of 5. See, now this time it's going to be 1. Okay, I've got to find x raised to the power of 1, and I have to add the indices. So I've got times here, that dot represents times, and that's going to be raised to the power of 4. If you put that all into your calculator, you'll get 405. 5c1 will be 5, and then times 3 to the power of 4. Okay, number 4. Again, you're looking for the expansion of 3 plus b to the power of 4. You need the coefficient of b, so the first coefficient, in this case will be 4c1. And we've got 3, and then put your b here. So b is to the power of 1. That leaves me 3 to the power of 3. Again, those indices have to add to give me that 4. And then that gives me a total of 108. So it's just a matter of putting these into your calculator. Right. Now you might have wondered why I'm putting certain letters in first, like this one here, so we have to put a number of, we don't have to, we still get the same answer if you saw here, but the 2 came first and the x was second, the x came first and 2 was second, depending on where it is in your brackets here, in the actual question. But for number 5, we've got 2 things going on. You need x cubed and y squared. So now what we was doing is that you have to work out, you look at your second one here and you look at what is it raised to, so it's raised to 2. Now the formula we use is NCR, so let me just do it here. We use NCR times by a, which is your first number or letter in the bracket, to the power of n minus r, and then you times that by b to the power of r, b being your second letter here. So now what we have, in this case, you're going to have your r is equal to 2. So I'm going to put down r is equal, oh god, I know we're going over here. Okay, let's stick to this page here. Okay, that should work. Okay, so my r is equal to 2. Your n will equal to 5 because our bracket is being raised to 5. And then your a is x, and b is minus 3y. And now you just simply put it in to your formula here, NCR. So what you're going to have is 5c2 times your x to the power of 5 minus 2, and then times that dot minus 3y all squared. So if you work this out, that'll be 10 x cubed, and that'll be times 9y squared times 9y squared. So if you simplify this even more, you'll have 90 x cubed y squared. So the coefficient of that will be 90. Okay, so run through that again. You raise your y to the power of 2, so that's y squared, giving you r equals 2, n is 5 because the bracket is raised to 5. A and b are simply your letters, so a is x and then b is minus 3y. Plug it into this formula here, and that's how you get your coefficient. Now number 6, you're looking at something slightly different. So you got 2a now. So before we had the x, or just a b and so on, but nothing changes. So again, it's 5c2 alright, so I need my 2a squared. Now because it's an a squared, I do an a squared, I don't have to go any further. So 5c2 is 10 times 2a squared, and then 10 times 2 squared with 4. Put a bracket around that, sorry, bracket should go there. Okay. I'll do it in red. Okay, so your bracket should go there because that means that we're raising everything in this bracket to the power of 2. So 2 squared will be 4, so it's 10 times 4a squared, and that will give you 40a squared, because they're in the end. Right, so your coefficient therefore for that question is 40. So just a quick recap. So if you have a look, what you got NCR, so you raise your power here as a 5c2. Plug your letters in. So if you're looking for an x squared, that has to be raised to the power of 3 to equal 5. Put it into your calculator, and then that's how you work out your coefficient of x squared. Okay, hope that helped.